Hello everybody, welcome to Everyday Essence. Today we're going to talk about something that is so near and dear to my heart, power. Now when you hear that word, what comes to mind? For so many of us it can feel like something that's out there, something that other people have. But I've learned over a lifetime of conversations, of listening to thousands of stories, that power isn't just about position or title. True power comes from within. It's the strength to live your truth. Stand up for what you believe in. Use your voice to lift others up. It's about finding that core of yourself, that essence, and letting it shine. When it shines, it can light up the whole world. The women we're going to talk about today are beacons of that light. They have stepped into their power in the most magnificent ways, taking on some of the biggest challenges our world has ever faced. They are presidents, prime ministers, pioneers. They lead nations and global institutions, shaping the very fabric of our lives, our economies, our future. They have faced down adversity, shattered glass ceilings, stood firm in the face of incredible pressure. Let's begin. Let's start in the heart of Europe, with a woman who is truly shaping the future of an entire continent. Ursula von der Leyen. As the president of the European Commission, she holds one of the most powerful political positions in the world. Imagine the responsibility, overseeing a union of 27 countries, different cultures, languages, histories. Her leadership guides the laws and regulations that affect nearly 450 million people. It's a role that requires not just intellect, but an incredible depth of diplomacy and a steady, unwavering hand. When we talk about the great challenges of our time, her name is right there at the forefront. Take climate change. She has championed the European Green Deal, a revolutionary plan to make Europe the first climate-neutral continent. This isn't just a policy, it's a fundamental reimagining of how an economy and a society can function in harmony with our planet. It's about building a future that is sustainable for our children and our children's children. And it doesn't stop there. In our increasingly digital world, she is setting the global standard for how we navigate this new frontier. Through groundbreaking regulations on technology data, she is fighting to ensure that our digital lives are safe, fair, and that our privacy is protected. She understands that the rules we write today will determine the kind of world we live in tomorrow. It's about making sure that technology serves humanity and not the other way around. Now let's turn to the United States, to a woman who shattered one of the highest glass ceilings in the world, Vice President Kamala Harris. When she took the oath of office, the world didn't just see a new vice president. It saw a seismic shift in the landscape of power. The first woman, the first African American, the first South Asian American. Can you just take a moment to feel the weight of that? For millions of little girls and boys, for people of color, for women everywhere. Her presence in that role says, you belong, your voice matters, you can be here too. Her journey to this office is a story of relentless determination. District Attorney of San Francisco, Attorney General of California, U.S. Senator She has consistently been in the arena, fighting for her vision of justice and equality. Now, as Vice President, her influence is woven into the very fabric of American policy at home on the world stage. She is a key advisor to the President, a central figure in the administration's most critical initiatives: voting rights, economic recovery. Internationally, she is a leading emissary for the United States, meeting with world leaders representing American interests across the globe. When the global economy trembles, the world often looks to one woman for a steady hand, Christine Lagarde. When the global economy trembles, the world often looks to one woman for a steady hand, Christine Lagarde. When the global economy trembles, the world often looks to one woman for a steady hand, Christine Lagarde. As the president of the European Central Bank, she is the guardian of the financial stability of the Eurozone, an economic bloc of 20 countries. Before this, she was the head of the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. These aren't just jobs, they are positions of immense global consequence. The decisions she makes can ripple across markets, affect interest rates, and influence the financial well-being of hundreds of millions of people. It is a level of pressure that most of us can barely imagine. What has always struck me about Christine Lagarde is her incredible poise and clarity, especially in moments of crisis. She has navigated some of the most turbulent economic waters of the 21st century, from the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis to the economic fallout of the pandemic and the war in Ukraine. In moments when panic could easily take hold, she projects an aura of calm, measured confidence. She has a rare ability to distill incredibly complex economic concepts into clear, decisive action, reassuring both markets and the public. This is the essence of leadership in a crisis. As the first woman to head the International Monetary Fund and the European Central Bank, she has not just taken a seat at the table, she has fundamentally changed the conversation. She often speaks about the importance of diversity in leadership, arguing that different perspectives lead to better, more robust decisions. Christine Lagarde shows us that economic power, when wielded with wisdom and a broad sense of responsibility, can be a profound force for good in the world, you know. Chapter 4. In the often tumultuous world of American politics, there are few figures who have wielded power with as much skill and tenacity as Nancy Pelosi, you know. As the first and only woman to serve as Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, she has been at the center of American political life for decades. The Speaker's gavel is a symbol of immense authority, controlling the legislative agenda guiding bills through Congress, standing as one of the most powerful leaders in the country. For years, she held that gavel with an iron grip and a brilliant strategic mind. Her tenure as Speaker was defined by her mastery of the legislative process. She was known for her ability to hold her party together, often with very slim majorities, to pass landmark legislation. Think of the Affordable Care Act, a sweeping healthcare reform that faced incredible opposition. Many thought it was impossible to pass. She marshaled the votes, negotiated the compromises, and willed it into law. She led the House through 2 presidential impeachments, was a remarkable display of leadership, and in charge of it. Chapter 5. In a corner of the world where democratic values are under constant threat, one leader stands as a symbol of defiance and resilience: Tsai Ing-wen, the president of Taiwan. Leading a vibrant democratic island of 23 million people, under the shadow of a powerful and assertive neighbor, is one of the most difficult geopolitical challenges on the planet. Her presidency is not just about domestic policy. It's a daily act of defending her nation's sovereignty and its right to choose its own future. The weight on her shoulders is immense, and she carries it with remarkable fortitude. President Tsai's leadership is defined by a calm and principled strength. She has carefully navigated the treacherous waters of international diplomacy, building strong, unofficial relationships with democracies around the world, including the United States. She has made Taiwan an indispensable partner in the global economy, particularly in the crucial semiconductor industry. By making Taiwan essential to the world, she has also made it more secure. It's a brilliant strategy that combines economic savvy with diplomatic courage, all in the service of protecting her people. Domestically, she has championed a progressive agenda that has made Taiwan a beacon of freedom in Asia. Under her leadership, Taiwan became the first place in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage, a landmark achievement for human rights. Chapter 7. Even though she has stepped down from the world stage, the influence of Angela Merkel, the former Chancellor of Germany, continues to echo across the globe. For 16 years, she was not just the leader of Germany, she was widely seen as the de facto leader of the European Union and the most powerful woman in the world. Her chancellorship was an era defined by her steady, pragmatic, and often understated style of leadership. In a world of loud and flashy politicians, she was a scientist, calm, analytical, focused on the facts. She guided Germany and Europe through a relentless series of crises: the global financial meltdown, the Eurozone debt crisis, the migrant and refugee crisis, the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Time and time again, when Europe seemed on the brink of fracture, it was Merkel who tirelessly worked behind the scenes, forging compromises and holding the Union together, famously declaring, "We're schaffen das, we can do this." It was a moment of profound moral leadership that was both celebrated for its humanity and criticized for its political risk. She rarely gave soaring speeches, but her actions spoke volumes. She left office as one of the most respected leaders in modern history. Chapter 8. Sometimes, a leader emerges who seems to represent not just a new government, but a new generation. Sanna Marin, the former Prime Minister of Finland, was exactly that. When she took office at the age of 34, she became the youngest Prime Minister in the world, leading a coalition government where all 5 party leaders were women. That image sent a powerful message across the globe. The future of leadership is here, and it looks different. It is younger. It is more collaborative. It is overwhelmingly female. Her tenure was immediately tested by global crises, from the COVID-19 pandemic to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In a historic and decisive move, She led Finland to abandon decades of military non-alignment and seek membership in NATO, and it fundamentally reshaped the security landscape of Northern Europe. Beyond crisis management, Sanna Marin championed a progressive domestic agenda focused on climate action, social equality, welfare. She spoke the language of a new generation of voters, connecting with them on social media, and bringing a new level of accessibility and transparency to her office. Chapter 9. In our interconnected world, the flow of goods and services across borders is the lifeblood of the global economy. At the very heart of that system is a brilliant and trailblazing woman, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. As Director General of the World Trade Organization, the WTO, she is the first woman, the first African to lead this institution. Her role, the world's top trade negotiator, a referee, a facilitator for 164 member countries. Her career, a series of firsts. She served twice as Nigeria's finance minister, celebrated for tough anti-corruption reforms, and for securing a massive debt relief deal. She's reforming it for the 21st century, tackling the digital economy and the urgent need for equitable access to vaccines and medical supplies. She calls it reglobalization, a more inclusive integration that benefits developing countries. It's an engine for lifting people out of poverty and creating a more just world. Chapter 10. There are leaders who command respect through strength, and then there are leaders who earn it through compassion. Jacinda Ardern, the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, became a global icon for her ability to lead with empathy. In a world that often feels divided and harsh, her leadership felt like a breath of fresh air. She showed that kindness and strength are not opposites, but are in fact two sides of the same powerful coin. Her defining moments came in the face of unimaginable tragedy. After the horrific terrorist attack on 2 mosques in Christchurch, her response was immediate and deeply human. She put on a hijab as a sign of respect and solidarity with the Muslim community and declared, "They are us." In that simple phrase, she rejected division and embraced unity. She followed this with swift and decisive action, banning military-style semi-automatic weapons in her country. She demonstrated this same blend of empathy and effectiveness in her government's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Her motto was, "Go hard and go early." Through clear, consistent communication and a science-led approach, New Zealand achieved some of the lowest case and death rates in the world. She spoke to her nation not as a distant authority figure, but as a fellow citizen, someone who understood their fears and their sacrifices. She built a team of 5 million people all working together for a common cause. Outro: Ursula, Kamala, Christine, Nancy, Tsai, Sheikh Hasina, Angela, Sanna, Ngozi, Jacinda, 10 women, 10 incredible stories of power, purpose, perseverance. As we've journeyed through their lives and their leadership, what becomes so clear to me is that while their titles and their countries may be different, the essence of their strength is universal. It's the courage to stand up, the wisdom to listen, the resilience to endure, and the compassion to connect.